Hello and welcome back to the Dropout Dragon. Today we're going to be looking at a fun little setup that I've been using in the arena, just, kind of playing a little bit casual with a different kind of mix-up that I'm used to, but it's been something I've been enjoying. I was turning my password off. I was doing some duels with another streamer earlier. But yeah, I sent a quick old message over to Stielovsky of the Elden Ring community, and he was a buddy of mine for about 9 years now, so I was like, hey, I haven't done a faith build and or anything involving faith whatsoever, and I was like, I need a general direction here. And I was thinking about doing Zweihander Catch Flame, and he was like, I got you, and he sent me over some stats to work around and a build to work around, and I'm pretty much using exactly the fashion that he told me to. And I'm gonna say it's not my favorite, but it's something that works, and we're gonna run with it. So Zwei Catch Flame, why am I doing that? Well, particularly speaking, also I'm making a mistake here, and we're going to cover that in a second. Particularly speaking, there is a true combo with Catch Flame off of the Crouch R1. You're going to see me get hit by Phantom Slash because I'm a garbage player, and we all know it. But I can go ahead and as soon as I saw him quick stepping, I was like, you know what, Catch Flame, let's get to it. You know, you want to be quick stepping around me. I've got a fast little attack. Tried to do a little roll catch there with that R2, and it just really it wasn't working out for me. But I was like, you know what, I'll keep trading. And then I was like, wait a minute, I actually have to manage my FP, which is rare, but that's something that I have to do. And again, just a little Catch Flame, just to say I don't care about your quick step, and I'm just going to keep smashing into it because it's a lot faster than people think. It will catch you. It is Catch Flame. But yeah, this was a setup I wanted to use, and just not trying to be unique, but just kind of exploring other options. And I fool around a little bit in this one. It's a fun build. I'm not gonna lie. The setup for it is actually not terrible. You have some good options. You have some very good damage, and you could also incorporate your own faith stuff if you really wanted to. But it is something I've really been enjoying. Going back and forth on it. There's some meta setups that you will see I have a little bit more difficulty with, but if somebody is playing like off meta like me, this is definitely the off meta contest, and I've got more options than most off meta does. This is a good example of this. We have an absolute fucking Chad here because that's the only way I can describe him, and you'll see why in a little bit. Surprised he didn't actually get that catch there, but then he gets with that running attack, and it's like, man, that the Phantom on curved greatswords that will get you. There's the true combo there. Sometimes you can trip him up and hit him with that. It keeps some pressure on. Go ahead and get that jumping attack. He wanted the entrance. I tried to go for the wake up, but I was a little slow. If I hadn't been crouching, I think I might have gotten it. Another true combo there. Didn't get the catch there. He knows what's up. And I'm like, can I do something fancy? Wave of gold? No, we don't get Wrath of Gold on that one. That's not going to happen. One of the complaints, and I'm going to get into this, one of these fights that you're going to see is a little bit of something that I'm not too excited about with the arena, but it's whatever. I know some people don't care. Here's the Chad move. Man tries to parry me with a curved sword. That is an absolute baller move. Okay? It's not going to work out most of the time, but he wanted it, and if he had gotten it, oh, I would have been farmed for his clip, and it would have been sick and nasty, and I would have been really proud of the guy. But, it's a bad parry. And I think his timing wasn't even all that wrong with it. It's just a very difficult thing to get a parry with. I mean, if you're not using Karian or Golden, it's difficult to get parries in this game for sure. I managed in one of my videos to get a curved sword parry, and that was rough because I tried to get fancy with it again. It didn't work out. Okay, we have this bleed build in front of us here, and again, I'm not worried about trading with people. I've got good damage, especially when I'm Sacred Blade buffed, and Sacred Blade is a decent enough weapon art for this, or for the Zweihander when you're running some actual faith. There are better ones, but it's okay because it gives you that big buff. He got a big bleed on me, and I'm hurting, I'm feeling it, I'm like, uh-oh, so I get a little bit more aggressive. He wants me to get that kind of aggressive. If I was using a halberd, he would have probably smacked me there, but now he wants to go for the flies, and I know he wants to go for flies, so Sacred Blade. 571 right off the bat. This tracks better than I thought it would, and I was like, oh, okay. So I got hit there, but now I know with my poise, I can just tank that and then just boom, running attack with the Catch Flame because it has running attacks and jumping attacks. I will say, the jumping attacks, I would be very careful with that. It is not the greatest hitbox in the entire world. The running attacks are good, but the jumping attacks are just, I got to tell you, they're not impressing me. I do them sometimes and I just stare at it like, why didn't that hit you? Or why were you able to jump over it when the flame clearly went through your face, or somebody it gets to you and you're like, man, maybe I just shouldn't do the jumping attack. And I use a lot of jumping attacks to get into combat, and it seems like the Zwei is the only thing I really want to be doing that with, because the jumping catch flame just is not impressing me. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. Maybe it's total fucking skill issue. Probably. But yeah. So here I am doing the waiting arena shuffle, as we have all done. We've all been sitting there staring at this statue and what's her face on the left there that I don't care about. Those are pretty candles, though. That's about all you could admire while you're sitting here. That's another complaint I have about the arenas is you're not in an area that you can practice, like doing, tech or switching up weapons or remembering what weapon art does what. We actually run into this same guy again, which doesn't happen a lot in this video, but this guy here, he's with us, and he's going to be probably trying to do the exact same thing. I don't mind trading with him, like I really don't. Didn't land that there because Quick Step allows people just to get away with murder. I don't like Quick Step, I don't like Bloodhound Step, and I don't like Light Rolling. It makes people able to get away with things in a game that already has so little recovery on stuff. It's crazy. I do get hit by Phantom Slash because I just want to get in there and do the actual attack, and I'm getting absolutely trashed for it. Streamer live on camera being hit by Phantom Slash. Go ahead and unsubscribe now due to garbage player. But I'm just so desperate for that damage because I know I have it, and then boom, I call out his jumping, and I just say I don't care. I kind of tilt upwards, and then then I do the jumping, and I don't land it there, which is so concerning to me. I get hit by Phantom Slash again, which you got to be sitting here thinking, why am I watching this guy? He's a doo-doo garbage. But boom, catch flame. Caught him with the catch flame. And that is another benefit to running a build like this, an offhand catch flame. There's other weapons that you could do it with. Halberd. Halberd is always a good... halberd anything. Halberd off anything is already pretty good because you're holding a halberd. So you could do it with that as well. I've run around with a Sacred Halberd a couple of times. I feel like the uniqueness of this is running a little bit, with the Zweihander itself. Kind of giving off some Giant Dad vibes, which I'm not super happy with, to be honest with you. It's why the fashion isn't my favorite thing. Tree Sentinel armor being very, very efficient for heavy armor, and that's just pretty much what a bunch of people are rocking. The old man mask could be worse, to be honest with you, but it's okay. I can't even remember what it's called, but it gives you 3 decks. So good luck searching that up on the wiki. I don't learn about weeby things, so it's hard for me to remember the names of that stuff. But I do remember Tree Sentinel armor because oh my god. So we run into this guy, and if I remember correctly, he was running Halberd off stock something once he switches over. Yeah, there it is. And this man definitely understands his punishes. Here's a mistake that I make. I enter so badly. He could have punished me a lot more there, but I entered so badly. But then again, he goes for the jumping attack, and I get a very rare backstab in Elden Ring. You guys know that's not something you see that often. I threw out a fully charged R2 with that Zwei, one-handed, and it still just chunked him. Big damage. Because I knew he wanted to play aggressively, and he should play aggressively, but I was really hoping. I was like, can I get a little bit of a roll catch here, or can I trip him up with the timing? And it worked. I do believe the R2 also true combos in a catch flame. I could be wrong, but it feels like it does. But I know the crouching R1 does for sure. I have had instances where it seems like the jumping attack does, and then I'll either miss it or whatever. That's another thing that you have to be aware of when you're running a setup like this. Even with Halberd, sometimes you'll be poking them a little bit farther away than you need to. Catch flame doesn't have the most range in the world despite its damage. All right, now it's time for Dragon to actually be humbled. This guy's running Shunter, and Shunter is a death sentence for me. I'm not very good against it. The Vortex is something I have to wrap my head around a little bit. I'm surprised I actually caught that, given the latency there a little bit. I was really surprised, but this guy definitely knows how to Vortex people, and he's switching it up. And when we get into that Vortex, it hurts. The Shunter is a very high skill type of weapon that you have to just go, okay, I know what inputs I'm doing, and it's all about reads. And right now he's reading me like a book. So some of these people are going to disagree and be like, it's not high skill, it's not a high skill weapon. It kind of is. I get that catch finally because he probably wasn't expecting it. He gets low. And I got to tell you, Shunter is a scary, scary weapon because here it comes. I'd get a little bit confused by the next interaction, but you know what? I'm sure some people will be like, yep, that's happened to me. I go for, I tried to poke him out of the air, and because he hit me, I didn't actually think he would hit me there. I thought he'd go over my head, and he didn't because he was angled very strangely. And I accidentally, even after being hit, I pressed R1 again, which locked me in the animation. That was an easy hit for him. So you have to watch out for that. When you see Shunter, understand that that person is attempting to read you. And those reads are going to hurt badly because Shunter on a high strength build does a lot of damage. Big scaling, big scaling. So watch out for that one. They can't infuse it. You won't see a crazy amount of weapon arts, but when they start goblin stepping in front of you, you're going to feel that. And I felt it there. So I couldn't monkey mash with straight swords or scare them with a halberd or anything like that. I'm using something here that I have to be aware that there's just some stuff that's going to vortex me, and I need to just be better about it. This guy gets roll caught. I thought he was going to buff twice. Doesn't really matter. You can hit people while they're buffing. This is the arena. They do it in tournaments, so here I go. You're just going to have to eat shit sometimes. I don't get mad when I get hit buffing, and that's just the way it is. He goes in for what is another HTS Bloodhound step, but then he wants to roll catch me with an R2. It doesn't work. I get the combo there. I kind of hoped he would trade with me, so I threw that one out, and he's just kind of looking at me. He's like, I don't like you. I'm surprised, actually, that this didn't trade, but I shouldn't be. Caught him there with that unlocked running attack. He's throwing out some Flame Strike, hoping I'll walk into it. I tried to be cheeky. That is not something I should have done. I was going for that. I wanted the roll catch on the Wrath of Gold, which is actually stronger than people think it is. But unfortunately, they weren't going to give that to me, which was, oh well. By the way, the stats for this, as well as the talisman setup that I'm running, which, of course, you can run your own or you can hard swap them, whichever you want to do. That will be towards the end of the video. I do show that, which will be nice. My starting class wasn't exactly the same either to what Steel had sent me, so I had to kind of just finagle with that a little bit. And I think I like the slight extra bit of mind that I get. Not that mind really matters, and we're gonna get into that a little bit in this video, when I'm kind of fooling around with somebody, and you're gonna see why I just kind of have an issue with mind in general in this game, and its irrelevancy to the meta scene, the absolute irrelevancy. All right, we're running up here with this halberd. Now with a halberd, I've got to be aware that he's got better pokes than I do, he's got better catches than I do, but he doesn't have better damage than I do. So I can force trades. I get that hit. That's exactly what you want to see. And he rolls away from it, but that was big damage. I go ahead and catch him there. I'm all right. So if the trade doesn't bother me. I tried to be a little bit fancy with that R2. That's going to be a theme with me, is attempting to be fancy. I've unlocked because I'm wondering if I can get the runaround for the backstab or at least keep it open. He tries to trade with me again. Even if that had hit, that still would have been the end of it. So I need to have people respect my damage. It's kind of funny. I kind of have to play it a little bit when I'm in their face, kind of like a Shunter, just with an extra catch flame. And let me tell you, that can be kind of difficult, especially with certain setups. There are some people that can just mash in my face and get away with it, but I have a decent amount of poise, and there's little small stuff that I don't have to worry about, which is nice. And here we are waiting again in the arena, wondering who is going to be next. I'm always hoping it's not the exact same guy because, you want to have some variety in your day. I do get messages where people want like password fights, but I don't really know them. Now we run into this dude, and I'm unfortunately going to tell you, chat, that this man is learning a hard lesson today. I don't know who this is. I don't know who told him he could be here. And it's pretty rough. It's a little bit of a rough fight for Mr. Man here. So he gets hit there. I'm actually surprised I didn't catch him. But he's looking at me, and I'm kind of wondering, maybe it's a one-shot build, right? Maybe he's got something up his sleeve here I don't know about. I'm not an expert on arcane, so I kind of just stand there. I'm like, you know what? I'll let him hit me, But his damage wasn't impressive, so I just kind of went for the jumping R2, which does a decent amount of damage. Now I'm just like, okay, well, can I get a big clip here? And I can't because I decided to charge Wrath of Gold instead of just do it out, but it doesn't happen. And I'm like, all right, I'll take my L on not being able to get that. So instead, I'll do this. And bingo, you get your clip. Even though obviously that dude had no clue what he was doing. But hey, I'm a YouTuber. That's all we're about, right? Is exposing people who are just trying to play the game and acting like we're gods. We can do that and feel better about ourselves as our fragile ego of numbers just slips away, knowing that this community is on a downward spiral. But hey, you're all here with me, so shout out to those who made it to this part of the video. Shout out to my streamer friends who are going, yep, there he goes again, Mr. Doomer, the Doomer Dragon. That's everybody knows it. But I'm trying to run fun setups like this, but the game definitely punishes that. This is kind of a funnier fight. I get a little bit of I get the off meta gets revenge on me for sure for what happened in the last one. This fight was kind of funny. I tried to test some things, and I definitely paid for it a little bit. He wants to trade with a Braggart's Roar or Beast Roar or whatever the hell, whichever one it is. It's one of them, and he actually gets it, which is foolish of me. He's got this. He tries to go for it right there, but I pop his bubble, and I saw the bubble, and I just kind of stupid out. I went for the trade on the catch flame. I got to tell you, not very good. Beautiful roll catch on his part, and now I'm just kind of looking at him like, okay, now I got to get some damage on with Sacred Blade, and he's looking at me. He's like, I got the shield. I'll reflect it, and he goes for a guard counter. I don't recommend that ever, but and this is another reason why. Catch flame is so quick. As as many weapons in this game that he just no guard counter can deal with it. He wants to get rid of my poise. He takes a big hit there, and now's the point where I'm like, okay, can I rush him down? And then he just runs away, and then this happens. And I thought I had enough time, and I actually didn't because I fucked it up. I should have just ran right at him with the catch flame, but then I just made the wrong decision there, and I got shot for it. So the off meta has its revenge on me 100%. That was just a goofy goober moment on my part 100%. I don't know why I did what I did. I was probably at the time I was talking with some friends, and I was probably laughing at him. Like I was like, "What is this build?" And then sometimes when you ask that question, "What is this build?" you find out that man traded with me for pretty much everything I had, and then that roll catch, which was just fantastic with a flail. You never get to see that. So good on him. Wish I hadn't have blown it the last second. He's probably wishing he didn't take that Sacred Blade while he was in the air, and if he hadn't there, it would have just been a total wash, and I'd be really coping, super coping about that. But yeah, he got me, and I'm happy that I can see builds like that in the arena that aren't just the absolute super meta trash. Speaking of super meta trash, here is double coateds, which I have used, and I feel dirty every time I do. I've actually switched to Golden Epitaph because I think I like them more. I know I can kind of trade into him. He's got no poise, but he does have light roll, and he's got the cockroach armor. So that's unfortunate, and I'm just kind of looking at him like, all right. But this is definitely somebody's first meta, and I'm staring at it. He unlocks for that, and it actually makes both of us miss, which I think is kind of interesting. I'm not even sure if he would have traded, but I know knowing he has no poise, I can just kind of catch flame him, which I do. He pulls out a talisman here, and I know why now, but you'll see in a second that he wants to go for it, but he's like, well, maybe not yet. So he thinks, but then you get this, the smallest heal in the history of ever. And I actually got a roll catch there, which is nuts considering that he's light rolling, but that sometimes is the way it is. Look at him, he's just gone. Just absolutely gone. But I know I have the poise, so I trade it. See, when you're thinking about your poise and its recharge rate and all that stuff, when you're thinking about that, I know that's a dumb way to put it, but there's a bunch of numbers out there that confuse people. I just call it your poise recharge. When you know you have the poise to tank one hit like that with a trade, just go for it. Just go for that trade and know what's coming, get the read, and then boom, it's just over. Yeah, it hurts a lot, but you know what? You're about to win, especially when you're running something like that. The cockroach armor there is brutal, and I just hate seeing it. I'm like, man, I know when I get them low, I got to do something about it now because they're healing. Now then we have this guy right here. This is a good example here about how I feel about Elden Ring right now. This is a very, very good example. This guy's running, honest one-handed, or honest two-hand gogs. He's very honest, but he's got the RKR, so I still have to be very, very cautious of him. I go for the poke. I get the poke. I get the combo. I get the poke again. I get the combo. And then he's got, like, nothing, right? So I was like, I'll do a fancy R2. Incorrect. Boom. All my health is gone, and it hurts my soul. And I'm like, okay, I'll just catch flame him then. I can't be fancy here. I'll just do that. And Elden Ring is the kind of game where that happens. I decided to just flex for 1 second, and it was almost a taunt to get bodied. And I got to tell you, that's on me, 100% a skill issue. But bear in mind, that's an Elden Ring thing, and you don't really find that in the other games. That much damage done to you is brutal. Especially in a game like this. It's just boom, you get hit, and then all of a sudden you're not feeling as fancy as you were before, because I definitely wasn't. He had me, and if I hadn't had catch flame there, I might have lost that match 100%. I needed something fast to catch him. Speaking of something fast to catch him, we got Bloody Hellas, which is always a toss-up. Sometimes people are really good with it. Sometimes people are, absolutely terrible with it. Uh, it's definitely a Blood Flame build of some type. I'm just glad he's not glitching it. Throws that out. Honestly, I should not even have tried to space it like that. That would have hit me on like a lot of the other connections. I thought that would trade. It didn't, but as you can see, I still get the buff, even though I didn't finish the animation. He goes for Blood Flies, which is not surprising. I don't want that track behind me, so I let it come at me. I tried spacing that again. He goes for it, and he actually gets the hits there. I didn't think he would, but he does. I go ahead and catch flame him, and then boom. That Bloody Hellas thing doesn't give you infinite iframes through the entire weapon art. When they're back there and they're like pulling it up right before they're about to thrust again, you can catch flame them just like that. You can hit them with anything. You can hit them, with S-Stock. You can hit them with everything. So that's a big deal. So of having catch flame to actually roll catch, I mean, it's so aptly named. I enjoy it. I enjoy it a lot. And now I'm struggling to remember who it is that I fight next. And I know I put these videos up. These are things that I've been doing recently. It's just like I play for a while, I record it, and then I talk over it and share it with you guys and tell you my little quick thoughts about things. But it's also hard to remember like everybody I fought for 30 minutes, especially if I recorded it the night before. So we run up against this guy, and I will tell you that something got in my head in this fight, and this is definitely a skill issue on my part, but also at the same time just something that irritates the hell out of me. He's running this wonderful weapon. I space that. I get a very good space there. Actually, this might not be the guy. See now I'm being silly. No, it is the guy. Okay, so he pulls out the rapier. He throws out some parries, which I wouldn't have agreed with. I tried to spook him, and then as soon as I saw a Bloodhound step, I was like, oh, okay. My brain turned off the moment I saw a Bloodhound step, and I went, this is going to be one of those with a rapier. And he broke my poise while I was mid-casting Catch Flame, so I was no longer in the advantage of being able to quick cast it like that. I had to reset it again, which is why I only hit him twice instead of attacking almost at the exact same speed he would with the with the thrusting sword. And I got I'm running something like this. I mean, I run anything, and whenever I see Bloodhound step or quick step, I just get frustrated because I know the stuff they're about to get away with, and my brain turns off, and I play very badly, and I shouldn't do that, but it's just me being frustrated over infinite fucking iframes from everybody. And it gets really annoying to see that kind of like recovery, the amount that it can get away with. If you think you're really, really bad at this game, just use one of those, and you will rage bait the hell out of pretty much anybody with a brain. You'll get it. It's easy, free, and fun. So in this fight, another little issue I have in the arena, and this is a totally me thing. You can see I'm going to use a lot of FP in this fight, and I can because I have 3 flasks of Cerulean Tears. I got 3 blue flasks. I can just use it. I don't have to worry about leveling Mind. I don't have to care about committing to Mind. The entirety of the meta scene, no matter if they're weapon art spamming or cast spamming, whichever it is, a lot of them are either at base Mind or just have a couple extra into it just to do a few spells. But look at that. I have badly casted. Boom. That's just one of my blues. I just don't care. It doesn't matter that I casted them because I can just keep casting them forever because I don't have to invest in a Mind. No one has to invest into Mind, like, at all. You can use base Mind and just use blue flasks and not care. I'm trying to be like funny with it, cast some shit. I get a good roll catch there. He gets a bad parry there. I throw that. And again, I'm low. Boom, more FP. I don't have to care. I just cast things without having to think about it. And I think that's a big problem in duels. 3 Cerulean flasks. That's a lot of Bloodhound steps someone can do. Or quick steps. I kind of walk into that. Never walk into a sword spear. That's a stupid thing that I did there. Very dumb. And again, I'm out of it. And so I'm out of FP. What do I do with my almost base FP? What do I do? I use the rest of it. Boom. Another flask. Don't care. And I think that's a problem. He tries to trade with me. He can't do that when I'm just chasing him down with the catch flame. Because again, that's what it does. It's catch flame. You catch them. Catch them on fire. Catch them rolling. Catch. That's the biggest thing when using an offhand catch flame. But it just feels like, man, I am using a ton of FP. And I don't have to be aware of it because I can just blue flask. And I think that's a problem. I'm not going to lie. With the amount stuff is spammable in this game because nothing costs anything, it's kind of ridiculous that I can fully charge like a late game spell a couple of times on base FP. I don't know. Maybe I'm alone in that, but it feels weird to me that that's something that you can do. And let's see the next match, which I think is around one of the last ones, I'm pretty sure. This dude had an idea of what he was doing. I know that he wants to Cragblade right there. I knew it was coming, and I was like, no, you don't get that for free because I know what that does. Cragblade is one of the scariest things you can put on fists next to the Blood Grease. Blood Grease will rock my world. This is actually a setup that should win against me, but I'm keeping a little bit of pressure. You saw that damage. That was just one tick of the running attack. He didn't even hit it twice. He tried to space. It didn't work. I'm basically just hoping he spaces wrong. Look at that damage. I'm already in serious trouble. And I'm just kind of looking at him like, uh-oh. But this is a good example of the use of Catch Flame. Got him here, got him there. Even though he poised through it, got him the second time. Because that's how quick it is. Boom, boom. A lot of damage. I'm also pretty sure he blue tear stoned. In this game, it's blue feather. Sorry, that was a geriatric Souls Man moment. But I'm pretty darn sure that he had blue, and I was still able to get through that, which was pretty cool. So here's the stats. That's the end. That was when I decided that I was good enough in the arena today, and I'm just happy with it. If you want, you can bump your faith up to 60 with items. It's not that big of a deal. I put on Radagons. I have the incant thing to give me 12% more damage. You could put on the second one too if you can't think anything else to put on it. And yeah, obviously this could be optimized a little bit further, but that is the stats as they are on a build like this. And I hope you have yourselves a good day and enjoyed the video. Thank you, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.